that does. I'm going to try one more time here, and I'm just going to continue on. Things seem to be working okay on my Macintosh. Bitrate's really good. Audio's working good there. So let me take one more look here at my iPhone. Pilot Sage. Alright, hopefully that is the last time that we have that issue on phone. It's got the new quality, it just seems to be having issues with it. It's definitely working on the Mac. Why is it not working on my cell phone? Hold on. The antenna on my phone's actually not that great. Is that better? Okay, good. I won't worry about my phone then. Awesome. Alright, back to what we were doing. So we were going through, thank you Pat for, Pat Dog, for doing a little bit of troubleshooting with me there. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move on. So we're talking about paying for aircraft, and I don't really want to go through all of that again. Pat Dog was the only one on, and he's familiar with what I said. So we'll just continue on. If you're interested, I'll go ahead and leave the first part of the broken part of the stream on my site if it has audio. If not, feel free to message me, and I will be happy to answer any questions that I can with regards to FSeconomy. Of course, I'm not an expert. I've only been flying since about December. So we have general information about the aircraft. There's some for sale if you're interested in buying it. There's 31 of them for sale. Where it's located, how many seats it has, crew if required to fly it. 182 knots is its cruising speed. There is the fee for maintaining the aircraft. And yeah, so fuel capacity, current fuel load, how many gallons per hour on average does it burn, and the type of fuel that it burns. How many passengers it can carry at current full fuel load. Of course, there's less for one for the pilot, as well as how much weight it can carry. Type of equipment on board. This is very important when you go to buy an aircraft. And I actually learned this from another streamer on here, John Fly. Is always very gracious in helping other people. He mentioned that the first time he bought an airplane, it was VFR only. Let's take a quick look at that, actually. So if we go to buy an aircraft, up at the aircraft, and we say purchase, when you are, let's just look at Cessnas, because that's often people's first plane. So we'll go take a look at, where do we go, Cessna. Let's do a 172 Skyhawk. Should be some for sale, including my personal, mine from my airline. Let's see. So you can see that some of them have IFR and an autopilot, and VFR and an autopilot, but you'll find some that actually don't. All they have is VFR. There's no autopilot. There's nothing, and so that means you pretty much have to attend the plane while you're on FSeconomy. One of the things that the FSeconomy engine does is it will lock out those features of the aircraft that that plane doesn't have. So in this case, if for whatever reason this 208 only had VFR, even though this aircraft within X-Plane has all the necessary equipment to fly IFR and has a GPS system and all of that, if they weren't in FSeconomy, it would disable those so that I couldn't use them. It also requires you to fly the aircraft from position to position. So even you can't just move the aircraft from, say, Portland to Seattle without actually flying it there, and or crating it up and having somebody else fly it there. So Okay, so back to our planning. So one of the things I try to do is, as you can see, oops. One moment. So as you can see on my, this aircraft's located in F56S, which is seaside. But before we go into that, one more thing is you will see how many hours are available on the aircraft. Of course, the more hours that you have on there, you may need to replace an engine at some point. You can do that through maintenance at a maintenance airport. It also has an aircraft log to see the flight log. You can see I've actually done. Let me shrink this a little bit so you guys can see. Some of the log anyway. See if I can make that smaller so it's within the window there. You can see I've done quite a bit of flying with this aircraft. In fact, I had to ferry it all the way from the East Coast, which is where it was when I bought it. And I did so across country, taking up jobs so that I could make money along the way. Now, of course, okay, so what do I do? I want to go make some money with this aircraft, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to rent it. I could have done it from that screen. Let's go back. I'm going to rent that wet since I'm paying for the gas anyway. And I am going to go to, this is now taking me to my flight, which allows me to pick, shows the jobs that I've currently got picked. Now one of the things is, if this thing's costing me $700 an hour, I got a couple problems here. One is the jobs that I currently have are in Chehalis, or I'm sorry, yeah, Chehalis, and going to my FBO, and so I can't even make money with this aircraft right now. So probably one of the things I want to do is I'm going to head over to, I've got lots of fuel. I got about 60% fuel. I just fueled up at my home base on my way over here. I'm going to go over to Seaside and see if there's any jobs available there. So, and as we see, there is a job going to PDX. So I'm going to take that one. And there's a job going to my home base. And that's it. So this is my airline. I'm going to go ahead and fly those passengers away. I'm not going to fly for my airline because my airline's running out of money at the moment, and so I don't want to cost. This is an expensive plane, and it will actually pay for my rental if I do that. And so I'm just going to do this personally today, but I'm going to go ahead and take my passengers around. What happens is the more you see this average aircraft up here, the more we get of those coming into these various airports, the better that is for me as a owner of a gate and an owner of an FBO. So we're going to go ahead and take those. We're going to click Add Selected Assignment To, and we're going to add it to my flight. I could add it to Pacific Airways and fly it as Pacific Airways, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take those. So the next thing I usually do is, now that I've got that, I'm going to go back to my flight log, and I'm going to go, okay, so now I'm going to 98 OR, so I know I'm going there. So we're going to go there first to get this money into my pocket to help pay for the aircraft. It's a pretty short flight. And then I will go click on 98 OR, and you can see there's a few jobs there that are pretty substantial jobs that are going to Chehalis, so I can go pick up those other jobs. So I'm going to grab those two. That's, you know, whatever that is, $2,600, almost $2,700. And might as well take these 3 passengers to PDX while I got them on board. So it's a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 passengers on board, plus, and we'll go over that in just a second, the one that I picked up at 98 OR. So, but I'm also going to be dropping one off, so we're still good capacity-wise. We're going to go ahead and pick up this guy, or gal, whoever it happens to be, and we're going to, we'll circle around back to Seaside in a bit, but we might as well grab them and do that assignment as well. So that's good. So we're going to go back to my flights. Hope all this is making sense so far. And so now you can see I got a pretty good fair amount of jobs lined up. We are going to go up to Chehalis. So let's go up there and see what kind of jobs they have for the return trip. I've already got a couple in there, so maybe I should make note of that. And so if we go to Chehalis, I've got 2 passengers plus 1 for Seaside that's going to be tagging along with us, maybe a friend of mine, and we're going to fly around and have him fly around with me upstairs, up in the cockpit, and just to make it fun. And then we are still well within our capacity. So you can see we have, he's going to get dropped off, he's going to stay with us. Okay, so then we're going to go up to Chehalis. We will have 1 extra passenger on board, so that will give us 3. So we got room for 10 more passengers. So if we go to Chehalis, and we can see that Chehalis has 1 for my home base there. I'm not going to grab this folk, and I'm not going to grab that one, although we will. I don't know if we're going to return to PDX. I don't think we will, so I'm going to leave that one off since it's not my passenger. I'm going to take this, which is one of my other gates. So we're going to grab that and go back to my flights, and we're going to find S50, which is the last one in our trip. And we're going to look that over. Let's see, we got one going back to Chehalis. We'll take that. And I could make more money by grabbing the PDX, the 2 PDX from Chehalis and stuff. And so maybe I'll do that because I do have some jobs to bring back from PDX to my home base. So let's go ahead and grab those guys. We'll go back to Chehalis. And we will grab that PDX passenger. We're not going to grab the Eugene passenger because I'm not going that direction. And we will do that. So we got our trip for tonight all loaded up. We're going to be doing a lot of taking off and landing and taking off and landing. Very short flights, typically anywhere from about 50 to 60 nautical miles from each airport. You can see, well, I guess there's a 90 and 100 in there. But technically we're not flying straight through to PDX, we're going to be flying back down to Chehalis, and so we're going 50 and then another 56, and so there you can tell we're going up and down, typically only to about 4,000, 5,000 feet, and then back down again pretty quickly, and that will be that. Now you can see I have 2 seats still available if we needed to pick up a few more, or if in the time that we fly to these airports, a couple more passengers get generated. And I've got about 12,000 in cash on board, ready to go. Once we do all these trips. Now the cool thing about that is this circuit will be somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2 hours. So you know, I'll owe 1,400 or so, just a little over 1,400, almost 1,500 for the aircraft, some gate fees and things like that. So I should walk away with this somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 cash in pocket that I can use for other things. I'm not going to fly for any of my other airlines. You can see I fly for Crooked. These guys are awesome. They have a lot of different planes you can fly. I highly recommend joining them. Just great people so far. Really enjoy their attitude. They're pretty relaxed. There's no minimum, you know, you must fly so many hours a month, but they do give you bonuses for flying extended hours and doing really well. So it's a really great group to fly for. Highly recommend it. Military Air Transport. It's a single man operation up in Alaska. He had a C-208 that he needed flown around to help make money, so I fly that every once in a while for him. Although we've been having he's been super busy, so no big deal there. But now that once he was able to get some fuel back in the plane, I've been trying to build up my airline. So I do owe him some time, and I will head up there probably on my next stream up into Alaska, do some flying around up there. So Pacific Airways Northwest, that's my airline, and we are just a little commuter airline, working our way up and down from the Puget Sound down to PDX and over. So eventually I'd like to spread that out, hopefully get all the way down to Southern California and all the way out to the tips of Alaska. Create a nice big network to fly planes up and down the coast. Pacific Coast is, in my opinion, one of the prettiest flights up and down the United States. Of course, biased a little bit because I live here, so I actually think it's probably some of the best around, although certainly New Zealand and some of the Himalayas are definitely challengers and definitely majestic. So that's just preference. So let's get underway. One of the things, looks like we're ready to go. We got fuel on the bird. So let's get planning this trip. So I usually do that through SkyVector, and we are going to bring that up. Okay, and we are going to start at 56S, and we are going to go to let's do PDX for now. I might end up changing that. So we are going to go first to 98 OR. Yeah, and then we are going to go to PDX. And I'm not going to fly actual air routes tonight. In fact, I may not go on Vatsim tonight since there's no controllers. It's almost kind of moot. And then we are going to fly up to Chehalis, CLS. And then we're going to fly to S50. And then we are going to fly to Chehalis. And back to PDX. And I think we're going to make that Control X 90 back to 56S. And we're going to stop at 98 OR first. I bet we got to go to PDX first, so KPDX. Nope, what happened? 50, 90, so we're going to go Seaside to my base, to PDX, to Chehalis, to there. Back to Chehalis. It doesn't like that. KCL. There we go. And then to PDX. And 98 OR. And finally back to 56S. So you can see we're just going to take a little trail up and a trail back down. Now sometimes when the jobs are right, I can just do a big circle which goes a little faster, but that's okay. So again, I think we're going to stay off Vatsim. I don't see much going on there in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, the closest controllers are down in Southern California. So let's go ahead and skip Vatsim for tonight. And we will get up in the air. Looks like I'm by myself again. Pat Dog took off. That's okay. Take a big stretch here before we get going. Okay. Now that we have our flight plan up and running, let's go ahead and get our aircraft started up. We are going to go back to that. And we are going to get this vehicle fired back up. So let's start by removing our chucks. Well, oops, wrong one. So let's remove our static elements. And let's close up all the doors. We're going to close up the cargo doors, the baggage door, the co-pilot, and the pilot. And we are all locked up. Let's go ahead and get into the cockpit and get this guy fired up. So, first thing we need is our battery. And we are definitely going to need fuel. Someday I'll go ahead and find a good checklist for this. I don't think I have one. Don't have a checklist. I need to reinstall that. Okay, so we're going to get the prop and where are we? Whoop, sorry. Get those guys set. I'm going to get ready to feather that guy just a little bit. Alright. So next, let's see, ignition, start. We're going to feather. And she is firing up. We're going to turn on our oxygen. Pressure looks good. See, our igniters are still on, so let's turn those off. Turn that off. Generator on. Ignition still says on. Yeah, let's try it again. There's my ignition still on. Off. Should be it. Oh, ignition's on. Interesting. Okay. Is that Yeti Dynamics? Welcome aboard. We are just getting ready to program our flight computer in here. Should be a pretty quick thing, and we'll be up underway here just momentarily. First flight is to 980R. Clear all these entries out. It's my last flight. So we are at Seaside in the Pacific Northwest, getting ready to fly off on a route for FSeconomy. Had that all planned out already. Let me show that real quick, just to kind of go over where we're going. So we're heading from Seaside down to my FBO in 980R, up to PDX, up to Chehalis, up to Auburn, back down, and back home. So, got about 12,000, almost 13,000 in cash on board for FSeconomy. Hopefully everything sounds good. You can hear me okay and can still hear the audio for the aircraft, but it's not overbearing. This aircraft can be kind of loud, so we will move on. So let's get in 980R. I'm not going to do any complex programming tonight. We just want to get underway and do some flying. So there is 9, 8, and our mock acres. That's my home FBO in FSeconomy. Just got it started. In fact, I actually built a custom airport to extend it. You know, Pacific Airways, my airway when we bought it, theory goes is that we purchased it and paved it and extended the runway a little bit to make it more efficient for transport. So, still working on it. Still need to adjust the angle of the runway a little bit. The approach is kind of packed into the mountainside, so it's a little tough. Alright, we're going to go ahead and call that good, and we are going to get underway here and taxi out to the runway. So, seaside, it's a pretty short runway. Let's take a look and see which way the winds are blowing. Looks like there's a crosswind, but that's at 12,000 feet, so we'll have to take a look at the sock once we get up there. I'm not too worried about the igniter. Let's get it over, let's taxi out here and see what our sock is doing. And, whoa. Sorry guys, something's going on with my controller here. Alright. We're going to taxi down to the end of the runway and get underway shortly. We're going to do some flaps. This plane likes to take off really quickly, and I'm not entirely sure why. It's actually a really good plane for short runways, and so it can take off and land on a dime, and it looks like the wind is blowing all over the place, but we should be good here. Normally we would call for some taxi. Oh, I apologize. That's okay, you didn't watch me fly all over the map here. Let me get that fixed for you. Apologies. Thanks for the heads up. Sorry about that. Alright, so we're gonna taxi out of here, get onto the runway. Our lights are already on. Okay, we are lined up. Let's get our heading dialed in here. That should be good. And let's get our heading. And we are going to turn off the autopilot for now. And we are going to fly to about 5,500 feet. And GPS on. Flaps are... Let's go with a little bit more flaps here. And let's get underway. I'll be back to the chat in just a moment once we get airborne and underway. Let's get our airspeed up. We're up to 40. Wish she was pulling something fierce. Let's get her up. There's a massive crosswind right now. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so there was quite a bit more wind than I was expecting. Get my trim set here. And we will get autopilot. See, we are getting pushed around really well. Let's get ourselves up in the air and hopefully get out of this wind a little bit, or at least with the wind, because we're going to be heading the other direction. So let's give ourselves a turn. let's get the GPS, the nav on. Alright, looking a little better. We are just being blown all over the place tonight, aren't we? Alright, we're going to climb our way up to 5,500 feet and get into where we're going. Let's bring this guy up. Switch over to... which one is it? Must be that one. There we go. Switch over to our map. Make sure we are heading the right direction here. It's going to turn us back towards where we're going here in a moment once we line up. So Yeti Dynamics, how are you doing this evening? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Got some short hops here for FSeconomy to make some money and keep my airline afloat. Somebody else joined us up. Still trying to figure out how to Sergeant Whiskey Jack, bravo bravo. How are you? I hope you are doing this well this evening as well. Not doing any super serious flying tonight, just kind of enjoying the scenery. Wind is kicking the snot out of us right now, but we will hopefully get out of that as we get away from the coasts. We are flying currently to my FBO in Mock Acres, which I have expanded to have a slightly longer runway as well as a pavement runway instead of a gravel runway. I did some editing. Still working on the airport, still working on the deets for it. It's coming along nicely. Figured that way I could get some larger aircrafts. All the really large airports in FSeconomy seem to be taking up for the most part, and if you want to buy one, they're super expensive. So gonna enjoy some flight time. I'm a little thirsty, so if you'll excuse me for a moment, I will grab a drink and try to do it quietly. Nice breeze coming through the window here, keeping me cool. Now let's see if I can figure out how to get this igniter off. Well, there's my ignition. Generator is on. Mini fuel boost. Let's get our prop cycle back here a little bit. We're kind of overdoing it. After all, fuel is expensive. How are we doing here? Flow rate's under 3. Everything's in the green. We'll pull our flaps back a little bit, which I should have done right after takeoff. For default scenery in X-Plane 11, it's not bad. It's not bad. We're flying over Seaside. Canyon Beach is down over here. It's not too bad. See, I'm getting tossed around pretty good. Haven't quite figured out. Seems to happen a lot in this aircraft and not in others. I don't know if it's specific to this aircraft or... but it's manageable. Landing's going to be a challenge with bouncing around like this, but we'll see. Hopefully the winds are better where we're going. Series Max just went live. Cool dude. Okay. Let's see if I can figure out 208 ignition light. Rendezvous with these. Thank you very much for the follow. I massively appreciate it. Just getting started up and streaming, so the more people I get following, the more people I get to talk to. I definitely enjoy talking to folks who are chatting it up in the chat room. That way I don't sit and stare at a screen and have to try to think up things to say. I can answer questions about FSeconomy. Doing pretty good at that. I definitely enjoy flying around the Pacific Northwest, although I've done flights up in Alaska and Florida Keys and Japan and Australia and one in South Africa. I fly anything from small Cessna aircraft all the way up to the big boys, although honestly I've gotten a lot more enjoyment recently flying FSeconomy and actually making money. Adds a great element to the sim, and one of the things I mentioned to Pat Dog, I think the first night he was on, and is that it takes me to airports I would never ever think about going to. Yeah, totally, man, totally love it. It's so much fun. A little hard to kind of get started. There's some basic instruction on how to do it. Doesn't seem to be a lot of it's a lot of reading as opposed to video instruction on how to actually make money. So I actually started this segment out with how I kind of plan my trips and if to make money so that I can slowly grow my little empire there. I do fly for a couple of fly for Crooked Charters, which is a great group. They have lots of aircraft to fly around. And yeah, really enjoying FSeconomy. I've got my first FBO, which is we're actually on our way to drop off some passengers and pick up some more, and then we'll fly out to PDX and a few others that I have terminals at that I've rented. They don't really seem to make me a lot of money, although they just provide a lot of jobs so that when I do pick up passengers, that there's always jobs where I'm going, which is nice. ExoJet. So I'm assuming that's a group. Do they fly mostly the larger aircraft, things like Dash 8s, or what's that group do, and where do they fly? I know FSE's doesn't get much bigger. I think they just added the 737, so business jets. Yeah, so the like Citations and Lear jets, things like that, 404s, Challenger 300s. Cool. Yeah, I'll get up to jets eventually. The thing I liked about the 208 was it's super versatile, can land it just about anywhere, and carries a fair amount of passengers and relatively inexpensive. So. I am just doing a quick search to see if I can figure out how to turn off the ignition light, because I can't seem to get it. Yeah, I love the Beach King. In fact, until I bought this aircraft, I was flying a Beach King around here. Rental rate was pretty high on it, but I was able to carry a lot and get a lot of jobs done with it and still make some pretty good money. Now I make more money with the 208 than I was making before, and I have a Cessna that gets rented out every once in a while that I have to drag back to Portland because it tends to drift south and or north into Canada, and so I'll end up flying it back every once in a while. And they run what? They run. Let's see. Let's go back over here. What does the King Air run? It runs. Let's go to purchase. And yeah, about 800. So just a little more than I paid for this 208. All over 335. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you coming on board. Welcome aboard. We're currently en route to my FBO at Mock Acres, and we shall be arriving there. Let's take a look. So I don't need to go there. Let's move that back to the game. And we are about 15 minutes away from there, although we're approaching quicker than I anticipated. So that's okay. We are at altitude. I'm going to speed the plane up a little bit. Turbulence is high. We are getting knocked all over the place. Yeah, and it can haul pretty good. It can seat a lot of passengers. So there's not a lot of fighting. And in FSeconomy, as you know, there's not a lot of high passenger count jobs. There are some out there, of course, people have set up because they've got large aircraft. And one of the things I do for charter is I'll grab their Dash 8, I think it's a 100, and fly that guy up and down the southern coast there along Florida and into New Orleans, and I can pick up about $50,000 in just under 2 hours flying that route pretty quickly with that plane. It gets good fuel mileage and can seat a lot of passengers, so I can fill that sucker up and fly back and forth and make decent amount of money. Still trying to look at ways to make more money, although I'm not really interested in chasing money. I just kind of want to build my my little circuit here and make it bigger, and eventually, hopefully, maybe bring some other people on to join me at Pacific Airways Northwest and do some flying and build a little mini empire over here. So. Oh, you have a Q400. Yeah, that's so that's one of my favorite planes. I have the Fly JSIM model for X-Plane 11, and I absolutely love that aircraft. Bit out of my price range right now. Although if you ever need someone to fly it, I'll be more than happy to fly it around for you, make some money for you on the side or something. I really like the Q400. It's one of my favorite airplanes. In fact, a buddy of mine, he is a trainer for Horizon Airlines. And I get to hear all the dirt on the Q400. They just upgraded to Embry Airs though, and so he's super excited about that. He was stoked when they got their first one in at PDX, and yeah, he was just he's just giddy almost. So let's see. Let's bring up the map and see whereabouts where we're at. So you can. So there's my thing there. Runway, I've actually moved the runway at slightly more of an angle. You can only approach from the south because of the mountain at the other. I want to say they're 130. I'd have to look it up. I don't remember. I'd have to go onto Facebook and take a look. It's brand new aircraft. Let me see if I can find it. Definitely can't show this for you though. I'd like to keep his name private because I don't want to get him in any trouble. I don't know what their policies are on that. He posts not too frequently, so I should be able to find it. Posts. I think 8 viewers at once is one of the highest amount of viewers I've had, so need to make some bells and some whistles here, just like you got. I don't know if you guys ever listen to a lot of radio, talk radio or anything like that, but they get little buzz radios and little buzzer sounds they make when they hit certain targets, and I don't know, that might be fun. Always want to try to find ways to spice up the feed just a little bit. Lots of baby pictures because they just had a kid. Super cute. Yeah, setting up. Yeah, I did it pretty quickly. I don't remember exactly how long it took. But there's a, you just similar. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. it's as long as you stick to the directions, you should be okay. The one thing that I found critical for me was having the right version of Python. It didn't seem to work for me when I with the newer version of Python, and it states on there what version you should get. I know I had a newer version installed and it wasn't working. I couldn't get it to connect. I installed a different version. I don't remember what version it was. We can go look it up if necessary, but big thumbs up. Right on. Oh, I forgot he's into Formula One racing too. We're getting there. It is... I want to say it was smaller than that, though. And always, I point out a few times a stream if there's any aircraft that you'd like to see flown. If I have it, I'd be more than happy to fly it the next time I stream. Last time I met a Cessna 172 request that somebody had made. And I try to do that. If there's something interested, I'll try to learn how to fly the aircraft and get the proper checklist. Sometimes I'm lazy and don't want to go through the checklist. I just want to fly. That's not always the case. Man, one thing I'm super jealous about this guy is he and his wife get to fly everywhere. They're constantly going somewhere in an airplane. He can hit a jump seat pretty easy, and so they get to take a lot of little short trips, which is pretty cool. And I certainly can't afford to do that. Right now, I'm trying to save up to actually get some rudder pedals, because right now the computer does the rudder. And if you were here for takeoff, one of the problems with that is it tries to sometimes doesn't correct quite well, and so it ends up tipping the aircraft, especially when there's a high crosswind. So I'm really looking forward to getting some rudder pedals. Unfortunately, money's money, and so it'll come in, and we'll get some rudder pedals in here eventually. When we do, we'll have a special stream about that, because I'll be really excited, because I've been flying without rudder now for a while. My setup is a yoke, and I do have a throttle quadrant that came with the yoke. So now it's just a matter of getting rudders. I do have a... sorry that I'm looking down here. I'm looking between the stream and... How are we doing? We're getting pretty good. So, between the stream and trying to find out what plane that was that they just got in. How's the audio out there tonight? I've been I upgraded OBS recently and seemed to kind of muck with everything, so I've been trying to dial settings back in. Pat Dog was gracious enough to give me a hand, kind of getting the video portions worked out and getting things semi-stable, so I super appreciate that again. But if things are not sounding too good out there, just let me know. I've got it up on my Mac here on the side, and it seems to be working okay. It does seem to be a little choppy here and there, but that could just be my own network kind of getting overloaded because my kids are watching Netflix, and my wife's up there watching Netflix, and so I do have a 30 meg synchronous connection, but doesn't always seem to go when everybody in the house is trying to stream video. Well, April. Yep, it is. You were right. It's an E-175. Gorgeous aircraft. He was showing me pictures. I got to see pictures of the inside, and I'm trying to convince him to maybe get me a tour one day here soon, because I'd love to go check out the aircraft, kind of check out their operation and see how they work. Still a little choppy. Yeah, I do see the bit rate drop every once in a while, though it's been holding pretty steady at 27, somewhere between 21 and 27 kbytes a second. So, or bits a second, I think. But I do notice a chop every once in a while on my screen, so I'll keep working on that. Some of it I think has to do with the funky TV that I'm using. I am saving up to get a bigger monitor so that I can use a good resolution instead of this weird TV resolution, which may help things a little bit. Alright, we are getting close. We're about 4 minutes away. We're going to come in right over top of it, and then we're going to circle back around. Well, why don't we? Let's see, what do we want to do? Let's go take a look at our map. I think what we're going to do is we're going to drop south a little bit. No, 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 no. I should have set that first, sorry. Ah! Go the other way. I think in that stream that I did last time, I actually crashed, sort of semi-crashed the Cessna. I'm so used to flying this aircraft. And you got to keep your speed up, and I wasn't really paying attention. I was busy talking, which is a bad habit of mine. That's good. Come back just a little bit. I get to talking when I'm trying to land the airplane. Oliver335, thank you for the follow, sir. Much appreciate it. Always looking for more followers and more people to talk to while I'm flying around so I don't get bored. Enjoy talking to people and hearing about their experiences with FSeconomy and Vatsim. I was going to fly Vatsim tonight, and there's a few people on flying around, but there's no control, and so don't really want to spend too much time typing in Unicom all night. So yeah, that's what he was saying. They're slowly kind of updating their fleet, which is really cool. He was so excited when the first one showed up. Like he must have sent out like 50 pictures and was texting pretty rapidly, and yeah, he was really cool. It was kind of fun to watch, but he's a super cool guy. In fact, he's got my X52, my Satec X52, which I use for flying around fighter jets and things. Technically speaking, I guess there's some of the airliners that use stick control as well. I think the 380 does. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I never thought I would enjoy flight simming as much as I do. I can sit and just watch this plane, or get in a jet and hop up in the air and just fly around, and I find it just super relaxing. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm not well aware of all the aircraft and what they can do. Still kind of in a learning spot here. Where are you? Should be just down to our left over here. Let's squish down here and see if we can. I believe that's it right there. My dog is going to start freaking out because of the fireworks. That's it right there. So you can't really land effectively through here. You can. I've done it. The semi-short runway gets a lot shorter because I haven't quite got it lined up yet. I think I'm going to angle it more this way to try to give it a little bit more run room. I ran out of space on the end there, so you always have to come in at it from the south. I'm still working at the airport. I actually built this airport myself to give me some more room than just a simple small grass strip. You'll see a lot of grass strips around here. Actually, we'll fly by one. I think it's down in this valley here. As we get closer to approaching, I'm going to make a turn here. Let's go down to let's descend a little bit. So let's get down to about 3,000 feet. Alright, so our first leg is nearly complete and we'll be taking off to PDX. Does look like a PDX tower just came online, so we may hop over Vatsim. We'll see. I don't know if I'm in the mood to deal with air traffic control tonight. It requires a lot more thinking than I might have after a long day of staring at numbers. So I'm a senior analyst and I do a lot of data analysis, and sometimes I don't want to think too much. I just want to get up in an aircraft and fly around and do some money, make some money on FSeconomy, and enjoy my time to myself for a little bit. Got a busy day tomorrow with the 4th of July. Gonna go do some picnicking, do some playing with some friends. Should be a pretty fun time. Let's see, we got about 1,000 feet, so should be, where are we at here? There we go. We're gonna loop around this little guy here. One thing I did notice is I still have some of the old FSeconomy airports installed, and it seems to overlap sometimes, but that's okay on the flight computer itself. Let's break off to the east here. I like to give myself a little extra room so I can get my speed set, especially when it's this windy. This is going to be a fun, tricky landing. Let's reduce our speed a little bit. Kind of pushing red line there as we're going down. Alrighty diddly, let's get, should be able to start our turn momentarily. Start our turn, and we're going to come back north mostly. And once I see the airport, I am going to take over the aircraft. Since there's really no assistance here at this, what's actually a rancher's airport in real life. It's a gravel runway, a little longer than the other ones in the area. It also has a heliport, which I've left intact. I just decided to, alright, I'm going to go back up. Where are we looking here? There it is. Alright, I'm going to take over this aircraft now. Because I want to come in on a specific approach here. I have thought about setting up track IR. Has anybody else used that? Be interesting if you could control your views with your head, although I don't seem to have a whole lot of problems with the mouse. Might just save some hand time. So track is good once you get used to it. I have a hat, optical square on it. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about setting up. I do actually have a pair of IR goggles with a foam, but the resolution on my phone isn't good enough. It was making me kind of nauseous, so I turned that off. I had that working temporarily for Flight Sim, and it was cool. But I've got a iPhone 6, and the res is just not high enough. It was making me super sick to my stomach. So maybe once I upgrade, I'll have better luck. But until then, I was thinking about track IR. I'd almost have to get a second. I wonder if I'd probably have to get a second camera. And I think I actually have a non-HD camera. Somewhere that I could use. In fact, I have a couple of old PlayStation cameras as well. Let's get the flaps down. Should be good. We're going to come in super slow. We're going to come in over these mountains, so it's a bit tricky to land here. No track, it comes with its own camera. Oh, cool. Do you know what company makes No Track? Because I know No Track IR, I had the software, I just didn't realize that they actually sold a package. Alright, I'm going to get my speed down even a little bit more. We're going to go full flaps. And as we get the nose up a little bit, we're going to get some speed. I will come back to chat momentarily. This is going to take a bit of focus to get landed in here without crashing the airplane. So bear with me for just a moment. And we'll have you on the ground. I can't see my sock, it disappeared. I was doing some editing the other day and I wonder if I forgot to put the sock back in. Okay, up over this hill and then I gotta drop like a rock. So right about now we're gonna pull back our power and bring up our nose. Create a nice slow glide. There's the sock, it's just not very visible. As you can see, I got a lot of work left to do on the airport. Alright. And we're going to inch our nose up. Bring the nose up. And cut our throttle. Bring her down. Full reverse thrust. Apply a little bit of brake. And the one thing I do love about this plane is it is easy to get down and stopped very quickly. Alright. Oh, got a little gap in my taxiway there. To fix that. Taxi lines are just plots right now. I'll be adding actual taxi lines and taxi instructions. Eventually I might actually get it out on the web for folks that fly with me at my airline. Give me just a moment and I'll take a look over there. Normally with FSeconomy I'd just pull over, cut the engines and complete the job, but since we're on a stream we'll do it the right way. Go over and taxi into a parking spot and call it good. Oh, somebody in my spot. We'll go over here. Cut our engines. Oh, you know what? Well, I rookie mistake. So one of the things that I just did was I managed to not load up the passengers at my last site or get the plane there. So I either have to refly that route, which doesn't sound too fun for a stream for the night, or maybe we'll find some other thing to do. Let's go over to FSeconomy and see what options we... Oh, I know what we can do. So, yeah, I know, man. Wasted time, wasted a little bit of money. I mean, it's the jobs are still good for days, right? So I can refly it, but I don't want to torture y'all with that. So we will find something else to do. I do have that Cessna 172 parked somewhere, so let's go figure out where she is. We can always run a flight. Oh, she's at PDX, so we should be able to find something to do. Let's see. So while we're doing this, I'm gonna reset the sim main and flight configuration and Cessna 172, and we're going to go to KPDX and we're going to put her on there. Alright, go ahead and start that guy up, and let's see. Oh yeah, no, I one night I flew from, where was I flying from? I was flying from Vancouver, Canada, Vancouver, BC to Toronto in a 737. Put the plane up in the air. Not 737, in the Dash 100. Put the plane up in the air, and it went about my way, and then realized as I was going into Toronto that I hadn't loaded the plane. So had to start all over again, had to refly it. So that's okay, though. It happens. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's ever done that. I got excited, was trying to fight some streaming issues, and kind of lost my train of thought. But that's okay. So let's see what we got here at PDX that we can throw. We got room for 3 passengers on a Cessna. And let's make a little flight somewhere. So here's some materials I'm trying to get to my airline. I leave them out there, and if people want to fly them, they do. I've actually had a few people fly them in for me, so we're good to go there. Let's see, what do we got here? We're somewhere not too far for a second leg, and that can make us a little bit of Skrilla. Oh, well, we could take her up to... Oh, hey, look, there's Pacific Northwest passengers here. So let's grab them and head up to KCLS. So let's just see if there's anything else there, because there's only 2. Maybe we can find one more going that direction. Okay, where are you? Nope, there's just the one. But that's okay, that'll make us a little bit of money since it's my plane. Go ahead and add that to... And let's see, let's go to my flights, and I'm going to probably rearrange things here a little bit. Oh, we do have one extra passenger that we were going to take with the other aircraft. I don't want to go back there, though, so let's take that one and put her on hold. It's one of the things that's cool, and if you don't know, I actually didn't realize it for the longest time, that I could take my jobs out, and I could push them up into a holding area so that I didn't have to fly them right now. I did one of the airlines, so well, imagine this. I did one of the airlines, all 747 jobs, that was 1,700 nautical miles, landed and realized, that must have hurt. That's a lot of money on board that plane too, so it's not like you want to just scrap the flight, so you would have had to have gone back and flown it again, I imagine. That's a lot of hurt right there. Alright, so can't do. Did he grab the right? I don't want that one either, so we're gonna put that guy on hold. And now alright, let's just put them all on hold and grab the one that we want. And let's release the Cessna in case somebody wants to rent it while we're futzing around here. And let's grab KPDX. And we'll take that guy. Have anything else at PDX here? Okay, so let's grab that group, and we're just going to cancel that guy. And we're going to go to PDX and grab my aircraft. Which is, you can see there's flew that guy around once, and that's mine, which is for sale. Alright, rendezvous, thanks for joining. We'll see you around soon, and hope to see you again next time I stream. Till then, enjoy. Alright, so let's get this guy rented. I believe I just filled the tank, so it should be good on fuel. Well, let's double check since I'm not really batting 1,000 tonight. We are pushing 74%. We're good. We're not going very far, so let's do that. Let's get that underway. Alright, so we are going to turn our avionics on because apparently they're off. Why do I have no... Alright. Nope. Okay, is it just the rate? Is it? Oh, it's just turned down for some reason. Okay, that's weird. Okay, so we are gonna jump in here and what do we got? This will probably be my last leg for tonight. Okay. C. L. Else. KCLS. Enter. Alright. What happened here? Why is that still... Oh. Wink. Sorry, guys. Alright, so we're going to go there to there. Good. 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 Okay. That looks good. We are not sure which way we're taking off today. Well, we'll see what the windsock is doing when we get out there, and looks like, whoa, sorry. Alright, which way are winds? Winds are still going in from the west, 16 knots. Okay, so, assume that they're doing that on the ground. We will take off 28 right. And I think we're good to go, so let's get underway here. First things first, let's start FSeconomy. We're going to log in, start. We got our passengers on board this time. Let's get underway. Alright, so let's put her in nav mode. Oh, to have rudder brakes. A man can dream. Alright, let's see what we got here. We'll go taxi out. Let's get our flaps down so we're ready to go. We're just going to do a rolling start here and pretty much get up in the air. We're going to push this guy right behind us so when we take off, we are somewhere in there. A little more flaps. We're going to fly heading first, and we are going to fly vertical speed, and we are going to go up, not down, at about 500. Yeah. Note to self, when taxiing, don't look over at the other monitor. What an evening. First had problems with the stream, so I had to cut the stream for a minute and change res, and then get to my destination and realize that I did not start. Oh, yeah, wind looks like it's good, so we're going to head out there. Alright, we're going to look right, looks clear, look left, looks clear. Let's get out on there and get our flight on. Alright, we're just going to do a little rolling start here, since we can. Do some car chasing down the runway here. Get our airspeed up. Okay, airspeed is moving. We're at 40 knots. A little bit of wind. 50 knots. $60 knots. And almost dipped the front end there. That would have been bad. Alright, let's get up in the air. And autopilot on. You can see we're getting bounced around pretty good. A lot of wind here today. It's actually a nice, cool, good solid breeze running through my windows here, keeping me cool. This is my home airport, as I'm from the Pacific Northwest here in Portland. From a suburb, actually, out in Beaverton. This is my home airport, so I like flying in and out of it. I'm pretty familiar with it. I'm going to bump myself up over the nose just a little bit because I'm a pretty tall guy. Not super tall. I'm not as tall as some of the other streamers out there that I know. But, yeah. So who do we got on here with us? Make sure I've said hello to everybody. I know Rendezvous had to take off. Looks like Yeti Dynamics and Sergeant Whiskers, or Sergeant Whisker Jack Bravo is with us still. Welcome. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream, watching me fumble around a bit. Airspeed's still good. We are getting the nannies knocked out of us though. Alright, so let's get our flaps down. That should help a little bit. You can see my trim wheels just going insane. Let's make our turn. Hopefully that will help us out a bit. Nav. And it looks like we didn't... Alright, so let's there, and we're going to go direct, enter, and autopilot is on. But we are not turning. Why are we? Oh, because it's in reverse mode. Where is that? Let's turn that off. And go nav. Sergeant Whiskey Jack Bravo Bravo. Thank you, sir. Or Baker Baker, if you want to use the other one. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Glad to help start building up my followers list. Like I said, it's no fun to sit and talk to myself, and it's always nice having somebody on the stream watching me make mistakes. It keeps me humble. So I am not exactly sure why we are not flying. Let's check, make sure our... Let's see, we are in nav mode. I wonder if we are on... Well, that would be flying us to Florida if that were the case. Our navigation is on. Autopilot is on. Well, that's weird. Anyone have any ideas? Did I miss something here? Oh, not nav mode. I need to be in GPS mode. There goes plane. How are our flaps doing? Let's get our... Once we get up to about... I need to get up to about 3,000 or 4,000 feet. I don't remember exactly, but we'll find out. Go head off towards Mount St. Helens there. One of the things I like about this flight is all of the mountains. So we got Hood off to our right as our wing dips back up. Let's go outside the aircraft while we're floating up here. Oh, look at that wind. We got Mount Hood there in the background. Then you got St. Helens. As we get closer to St. Helens, you're going to see Adams off to the right and Rainier up ahead of us. Man, we are just getting hammered. What is our wind doing? I only thought it was around 16 knots, so 12,000 feet. We're only running about 14 knots. It's a decent wind, though, especially when it's coming at our side. Could trim out a little bit. Let's get back in the cockpit here and see what's going. Stream seems to be doing a little better this evening, not quite as choppy. I've been kind of looking over here to my left. Got my Macintosh here sitting at the left. Running just the Twitch portion so that I can chat on that and kind of keep all my flight things going on my two main monitors here. Eventually I'll be setting up a third monitor once I get an update to a video card, or I can throw a second one in there. Wow, we are just getting punched around quite good. So I don't need my landing lights, and I don't need my taxi lights. We'll leave on the night and the strobe. I don't need that on either. Fuel pump. How are we flying without a fuel pump? Okay. We'll just pretend I didn't see that. Alright, so we are climbing real good here. Try to get up another... Man, this thing is just getting tossed. I could kind of do a zigzag up there, which might smooth out the flight a little bit, but it would take us longer and use more fuel, and since we are flying FS economy, I don't know that I really want to do that. Alright, I do need a small drink. If you'll bear with me for a moment. Grab that. Maybe one of these days I'll pull down the guitar and play a little music while we're flying, but got all my guitars, all the guitars there on the wall behind me, and a little MIDI controller there on the desk there back there. Man, this The only thing I want to check real quick is I did just update. So let me just make sure surface control, small, fast, or light aircraft. So let's bump this guy up a little bit. That might help smooth this out a little bit. Okay. Alright, let's should be good for now. Let's level this off. Boy. If I was on this plane right now, I think I'd be getting sick to my stomach. Far, we're doing pretty good. Alright, let's do some looking around. Definitely getting tossed around like a rag doll by this wind. Never been in a Cessna when it was quite that choppy, because I've only been in a Cessna twice, so it's one of the things I definitely want to do is get my actual pilot's license, but unfortunately that is well without my outside of my money at the moment. So I get to enjoy flight sims, which it's not so bad actually. They're getting pretty good and definitely not the real thing, but fun nonetheless. I will warn, I am not the best Cessna pilot. I will try not to run this one off the runway like I did the other night. So used to flying the 208 that I was carrying almost 80 knots when I hit the runway, instead of, 50, 60 knots. I usually try to cut throttle at about 60 and let it glide down onto the runway, maybe a little less. And unfortunately, I yeah, well, it's oh, give me just a moment. I will be right back. We will let the be right back, guys. Half a minute. Okay, sorry about that. I can feel my sugar getting a little low here, and so I'm figured I better get something to eat. All right. Oh, that's where that went. Blink. Excuse my eating. Okay. That should hold me over for a little bit till this flight's done. We're cruising along here at a good clip for a Cessna. So is everybody else flying as well tonight, or are y'all just hanging back and watching? Fizzy, my man, what's going on, buddy? Good to see ya. Gonna do my best not to crash the Cessna into the runway again. How you doing tonight, bud? Awesome, bud. So Fizzy, man, I was gonna talk to you and see if maybe you wanted to help moderate the channel. Flight Melbourne to YBAS. No, we're just doing a short flight here. We did a flight earlier, and we're just kind of doing some FSeconomy demonstration, how to plan, how I generally plan my flights. Got it all planned out. Great. Went to the first airport and realized I had forgotten to start FSeconomy. So we grabbed a Cessna, filled up more passengers, and we're heading up to Chehalis from Portland, PDX. Short flight. It's about 56 nautical miles, I think. Cool, man. I'll get you set up soon. And we'll give it a shot for a while and see how it goes. And if you enjoy doing it, I don't mind. I like having some help, especially when I'm trying to land the airplane. So I always get distracted. People ask me a question, it seems like right when I'm landing, and I'll look over and start reading and realize I'm kind of messing up. So I get distracted easy. Yeah, the Cessna 172 is a nice little airplane. With the flying club here, they have a, what is it, I'll have to look. Give me a second. Hey man, have a good night. Sorry, as well, guy stays with us, he's heading out. Alright, let's see. Cessna, let's see. They have a 152, a 172, and then a twin engine that I can't remember which one it is, but you buy into it. I think for the 172, which is their second level, it's like $800, and then $95 an attack hour to rent the plane. So you can, for instance, take the plane, and there's in Washington there's a lot of little lakes and things that have airstrips at them, and you can take the plane for the weekend, and you only pay for the time that the engine's actually running, which is pretty cool. Right on. I wish I could fly at all. I will get my license eventually, hopefully anyway, but I just, at this time, I don't have the money to spend doing that. Looks like we lost our turbulence, which is nice. We were getting tossed around pretty good. And that was that. Cool. Yeah, are they fun? Do you like flying the Piper? Let's see. Yeah, it's expensive. Yeah, and that's why I thought the club was a good idea. I certainly don't want to have to maintain the aircraft myself, and would prefer an actual, so you pay a mechanic and you pay hangar fees, and it all gets pretty expensive pretty fast. Enjoy the Cessna because it's over the wing, but the Piper is fun because it's faster. It's like 10 knots difference. Yeah, that's a big difference too. 10 knots is noticeable, especially in a smaller plane. I've been up in some small planes, but I haven't been able to, actually fly. So there is a discovery flight that they do here at Aurora Airport. It's pretty cool. Probably do that at some point. Talk to them about maybe what my options are. So I figure here in the Northwest, you almost have to get your instrument. We have a lot of weather, and a lot of weather that kind of comes in and out pretty quickly. So I'd hate to get out somewhere and then have to be kind of stuck on the ground and have to wait too much. I mean, obviously it can happen to any plane, regardless of instrument flying or not. Oop, got a little bit of a skip there. Oh, it had the glass cockpit. That's cool. Yep, I'm just working up. At some point here, I'll be able to start saving for that. Just have different priorities right now. I got 2 young kids and a family to take care of, and so trying to focus on things that we can do together for the most part. Kids and I are actually taking kendo, doing some Japanese fencing, which is a lot of fun. Having a blast doing that right now. Can't wait till we get into some tournaments. Yeah, you need a semi, although honestly this computer wasn't running X-Plane 10 super well, but runs 11 pretty good. But definitely takes a semi-good computer to actually run. Oh, did my dog pop into the screen? Where did she? Xena, come here. Were you on camera? No, don't go that way. You're going to knock my computer over. Come on. Would you come over and give me a sniff and I didn't even notice? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Alright, go lay down. Yeah, she is. Naturally, she lays down on the power cord for the laptop. It's okay, it's a Mac, it's a magnet. What are you doing? She's a part German Shepherd and part Whippet, which is a European Greyhound. Super smart dog, super fast. A bit high-strung, although she's getting a little more mellow in her old age. We taught her to play dead probably in about 4 minutes. So now if we go bang bang, she flips over on her back and she's looking at me like, oh, are we gonna do that? So yeah, she's a smart dog, super fast. Like, so we've got a 6-foot fence in our backyard, and if she's jumped it twice. 3 times, my daughter just reminded me. Apparently she's listening to me stream while she's drawing. Phenomenal artist. In fact, she's talking about streaming some of her art stuff, some of her drawing and things on Twitch here soon. So be on the lookout for that as well. She is coming along pretty good at art, and so she's asked if she could hop on Stritch. She won't be on camera. She'll be having her art on camera mostly. But she will be talking and showing off her artwork and showing people the things that she's learning, and super good kid. Son wants to stream too. In fact, at some point we might all do a Roblox stream together, and that might get a little crazy fun. We get a little stupid when we play Roblox together, so it'll be fun. Especially me, I turn into a 4-year-old when I start playing Roblox. I start just getting goofy. Of course, I do that here as well. Hopefully it's semi-entertaining. Let's see, whereabouts are we? We have got probably about 30 miles to go. Guessing, yeah, a little short. 28 miles. That was pretty close. We are getting close. Should be an easy lineup on KCLS here. And we'll be on the ground here shortly, probably about, say, 15 minutes. Oh, can't wait for tomorrow. I'm going to go hang out and have some barbecue. Now, I can't... Fizzy, are you actually streaming at all, or are you just doing flights? See you, bro. I guess that makes sense if you can't run X-Plane 2. I didn't even think about that. Well, hopefully you'll come by a slightly better computer here in the near future. I do have Discord. I don't remember what I don't use it very often, so I don't remember what I ended up doing. I'll get that to you next time. Guess I could look it up. We still got a few minutes before. There's TeamSpeak. Or did I uninstall it? Oh, there it is. Oh, fireworks are going. My dog's going to start freaking out. Yeah, here he comes. Here she comes, rather. It's okay, Xena. Go lay down. Come here. Come here. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Hey. Sit. Good. Lay down. or sit there. That's fine. I know you're nervous. What is my... Oh, yeah, my Discord's the same. Same handle, Pilot Sage. Oh, yeah, you don't want to rip up the driveway, that's for sure. That's unfortunate. I'm lucky enough that I've actually got fiber into my house, so I'm running a 3030 synchronous connection that is dedicated to me. I don't share it with anybody. I was on Comcast. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say their name. That was probably bad. I was on a cable provider, and I'll have to edit that out later. But and I just, as soon as we got to peak hours, man, it would drop to nothing. And they keep telling me they have it. They have it. It's okay. They have it figured out, and that it doesn't do that anymore. But I had so much hassle that I just kind of didn't want to deal with it anymore. Let's see. We don't want to unfriend you. We want to whisper. Oh, okay. Let's see. Hmm. Dog just bumped me. Sorry about that. Looks like we're flying into some weather here. Cool, Fizzy. Yeah, I'd love to learn how to properly do it. Uh, just kind of do what feels good when it comes to landing a plane. When I'm flying the bigger ones, I definitely follow checklists, and that helps. But okay, sounds like a plan, Fizzy. All right. Let me see if I can find that for you, Fizzy. Hold on. Yeah, I think it's kind of what I typically do. The other night, I was kind of had a brain seizure or something, and hit the runway with way too much speed. Wasn't um, let's Google. Yeah, I'll look into that later, Fizzy, and I'll have to hook you up next time. Thanks, Fizzy. No problemo. How do I... Where can I find... Where do I find my own Discord tag? That's what I'm looking for. Bottom left. Really? It just doesn't have... I see me, but I don't see any numbers after that. User settings. My friends are nice. Appearance, text, image, and games, kind of back overlay, voice, friends, connections, my account, nothing there, risk, no, weird. Alright, I'll figure it out later. Oh, I missed my turn because I was talking, haha. Okay. What's wrong with departing out of YMML? Out of curiosity, is it just... overloads your unit a little bit. So are you flying, so you're flying, you must be flying Microsoft then, FSX? Oh, you're doing XP10. It's kind of thud. Felt like it hit a little hard. Alrighty. Let's get I'll take a look at that here real quick, see how it actually was. Get clear of the run. Done. Then we are done with our FSeconomy flight. That's all checked out. So let's go look at our replay and see how that actually looked. So toggle replay mode, and let's go backwards. A little off center, for sure. Definitely know I was off center. That's really hard to do without rudder. Alright, let's take a look. Let's see what the tower saw. Powered off a little earlier than you had mentioned. There we go. Right on, right on. Alright. Well, that is about it for this evening, folks. Hopefully you all enjoyed the flight. What happened? I just went offline. Everybody just went offline. Alright. Got Fizzy and Yield Dynamics and Sergeant Whiskey Jack Bravo Bravo Baker Baker, whichever way you want to call it. Okay. Well, folks, that's it for tonight. I'm going to go get some dinner before I pass out. Hope you all enjoyed the flight this evening, and look forward to flying with you all next time. Hopefully I won't forget to Thanks, Yeti. Yeah, I've actually had. Yeti Dynamics. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. You have a good night as well, and hope to see you next time. I'll try to work on my Cessna landings a little bit more. It's actually one aircraft that I haven't flown very much, so hopefully I'll get better at it. Fizzy, good night. Pleasure as always. All right, everyone, have a fantastic evening. If you have any last minute questions, I usually hang around through the end of this video, which runs about 2.5 minutes. So I will be in the background. I'm just kind of powering things down. If you have any requests for next time, certainly feel free to ask, and I will do my best to accommodate. I'll usually take notes and note it down and try to do something related to the request later on, if I have the aircraft.